BO5 が2回あります。しかし、私は後半は見ません。なぜなら眠いからです。まあ、ポッピーでネクトンらへんはまあ強く見たいよね。多分レーン崩壊したことを後悔してるから、レーンが崩壊しないピックを渡したいんだろうけど、アンベで崩壊してる人はまあエンゲージ強くしてカルマを咎めるって感じなのか。ウィンレーン、ウィンゲームが始まった BFX の。さっきの内容を見ると BLG の方が圧倒的に強いけど、さっきのカイサーパフォーマンス良かったし、ディアブルが強いから、ここのレーンを強くしたいからカルマの優先度を上げてるんだろうね。ラリオは主導権取れないタイミングがあるから、ジンクス、カルマで主導権がミッド取れないっていうのはなるべくしたくないから、まあ、レーン強いチャンピオン。まあ、レーンをガツガツいけるチャンピオンにしたかったね。
And B&K, they've shaken their sillies out. That's what we went with in game number 1. They shook their sillies out, and now they're all gone, and we're ready to have a competitive game of League of Legends.
They shook them out. BLG had no sillies to shake, though.
No, they didn't.
They were locked in.
They were very still.
They
very
were
still
super
after
locked
that game.
in.
I obviously shook them out earlier, and so that is certainly good news. Let's see whether Vikla is going to have a better time here.
Well, he can't have a worse time, so I think it will be going better.
But に求められてる仕事はプッシュだね。
to their success because Vikla had been having a really good run.
スケールのいいプッシュ。
I know game 1 is not representative of how he has been playing at all.
ジビアよりレンジが長くてレーンが強いと思われてる。
Solo kill against some of the very top players in the LCK. He was able to take out Faker and Showmaker and Chovy and getting solo kills on all these huge household names. That has been a core part of why they have been doing so well. It's not just Diablo and Raptor. Vikla has really been stepping up. Kellen, I think the meta has been fitting him very well with the Enchanter meta.
Would agree.
And this whole package is a big part of why BFX have looked so good. So they really do need to get him up and running because they can't do it without him, not against a team like BLG.
Yep, I think it's very cool for Vikla, though, to be back on an Annie. This is a champion that he was actually playing a lot because he was a utility player in the mid lane. Like, this is what he sort of began as, sort of accepted that he wasn't one of the superstars. And
ああ、多分これミカエル早い。
solo killing Faker, picking up a Kali, solo killing Chovy.
I thought he was going to go for a wraparound gank there.
I was expecting something like that.
Oh, he's going to try to cheese Shun. He's going to try to cheese Shun maybe at the red, I think. Oh, this is sneaky.
He spotted it out. Shun is playing very defensively, though, around his Raptor camp. But Raptor knows Raptors, okay? He's very aware of that. Does find the first dagger here, though, as Shun is just trying to get sent out of his own jungle. I don't think the Pantheon is really going to be able to fight this Neferi here. So he is just going to be backing away.
But he doesn't have bot lane prio, so I don't think that Raptor can actually do anything with this. This feels like very dangerous to me, but Shun is going to eventually give it up. Honest is going to harass him, and Shun, wow. I mean, Raptor just had so much respect to that. He thought that Shun was there, and Shun has already backed off, so On going to be able to make this reset, and
well, Vikla's coming down as well. Flash out from On. Knew that he wasn't able to
ただこれめっちゃロスすごいこれナフィーリ。ファームできてないからこの時間。
B&K just brought their friends. And that is going to be able to get it, as Raptor is able to take down this crab as well. This little doggo is going to be able to help get rid of the rest of it.
すげえルートだなこれ。まあブルーバフキープすれば、まあこのねバフがしょうもねえから。
Yeah, and it could be even double scuttle here for Raptor. Will be, so he's going to go straight to
うまいね。ラプターさんいいジャングルルートするね。
But does delay him, does force the flash of On, and is able to double scuttle. And now this is a really dangerous TP from Knight.
That is a very aggressive teleport as Knight trying to get himself out of there, but he gets stunned up immediately. Shun in the area though, so Raptor going to have to get himself out as Vikla also looking worse for wear. So B&K not able to grab themselves a first blood. But Knight teleports back and immediately is exceptionally low. Vikla still with his TP available. As, okay, Raptor and Shun still trying to fight this one out. We do have a charged up Q that is going to connect. But On turning up first.
絶対にロストできないラプターファイトが始まった。でもスマイトない。今スマイトある。ナミフラッシュない。さすがにリスキーだな。どうだこれ。オールラッシュいった。ああ、ラプターさんちょっとレベルが低いけど、でもこれはうまくやったな。それブルーから来るの？
that?
He's like, oh, what a dummy. Did you see that TP from Knight? As he's TPing in on a minion.
Oh, no.
馬場優先で TP したけど。
He gets taken down, and no one goes down from BLG. We literally just saw this happen the other way, where Knight got punished, but this time they are a lot stronger. They have bought. On is in the area as well. And look at Knight's confidence here, going forward through the tower, gets the kill, flashes out, has the reset, and another first blood there for Knight. This one not going to be a solo kill or anything. You know, mid lane is not as much of a disaster by any means. BFX definitely more competitive, but they had it in such a good spot.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a freebie that they had given over. And these pro players, man, they love their risky TPs. We saw it really punish Clear last game. Then we saw it punish Knight, and now Vickley even more so this game. You can just TP to the tower, I promise.
自分で勝つっていうよりジャングラーが勝つことを意識して TP だね。なんか自分で勝つ方向性で頑張りたいけどね。
They should try that one with the Azir. Maybe that'll get him. The large rod isn't working, so.
All right, well, there's level 6. Bear comes down, but there is Between Worlds already. Shun turns up, and Vikla dead once again. Knight sitting at 2-0 to start this one off.
Yeah, that is tough. The Bear
終わっ
came
た。
down, but so did
終わりを感じ
with
る
the。spear. And turns out he is more of a help than the teddy bear, so gonna be another kill here for Knight. And let me tell you, Knight Aurora is incredible to behold. You do not want this guy getting fed. This champion from ahead, all of a sudden the basic abilities kind of just one-shot you, and then you're off to Reset City, which is not a place that BFX want to see him go. That being said, at least Diablo is, out to a little early gold lead here. They have been able to, keep the push for Jinx for the most part, which is kind of what you expected. Topside, though, this is kind of where I really get concerned about these types of matchups. Is Bin is just going to all back to the lane. It's a couple under gold lead, but it just always feels like you need to be so much more ahead for it to really be worthwhile as the Renekton, because the Sion just naturally gets so tanky, and it is double physical damage topside. You also have Annie, who is not going to be really helping killing out the Sion, right? Like, there's not a realistic fight.
オーロラの攻撃避けれないからマジで座ってほしくなかったんだけどな。
This is a wash.
Exactly, and the problem is he's going to be stacking infinite armor because he's not laning against a Rumble where he has to actually respect that. He's just, from the word go, going to only stack armor the entire game, and that is going to make it really, really difficult for Diablo, because then you're looking at, okay, well, you at least need LDR, you need IE, you're looking pretty late in the game already for when you're going to be able to deal with this guy. So we'll see if BFX can kind of fight around him and solve the Knight problem, which is going to be an issue here in game 2.
Yeah, First Dragon should be going over to BNK, though. It looks like BLG not wanting to try to contest this at all. That will be taken. So Hextech Dragon to be going down first. Second up will be an Ocean. Then we'll see what the Soul is going to be. Whether that's going to be relevant at all is going to be a question mark, because BLG already off to a pretty good start, and the Dragons were not exactly talk of the town in game number 1.
This went much closer, though, than last time. Last time, it honestly felt the game was over by 5 minutes. And not even exaggerating, it was very, very tough. The gold went up and down a little bit, but let's be real, that last game was not close whatsoever. Yes, Knight is out to a very good early lead, but BFX is going to have real chances in this game. The problem for me is just you are playing a hard engage comp against two very shifty carries, right? You are trying to take down Aurora, who can go invisible, who can go between worlds and hop away. Ezreal, who is playing barrier and obviously has a lot of mobility built in. That, I think, is the real challenge for BFX, is can they really be picture perfect with their engages and delete one of those carries? And if they can, I think they have a real shot.
Well, two grubs do go over to BNK as Raptor smites away that one.
What?
And also,
never
mind. So it is going to be 2 for 1. Shun comes on over and gets himself.
最後の表示分かりづらすぎる。
So BLG with one of their grubs. I think, like you say, definitely not as end of the world as we saw in game number 1 yet. And I do like the composition here for BNK. I think that Jinx is a great win condition later on in the game, and right now Diablo is doing just fine in this lane.
Yep.
It's just whether or not, Bin is going to get too big, and if Diablo looks at Knight the wrong way, he may just die.
He will get one shot, yeah. So that is always a problem, but clearly the comp is built around. You go in, you one-shot one of these BLG carries, you get Jinx the reset, and then Jinx carries the rest of the fight.
ジンクスの人マジで動きいいな。
And so they want to get strong enough that they have enough damage to really get that first kill, get that first reset.
We'll see if they
are going to be able to do that because Diablo, once he gets going, it really is a thing of beauty to watch this guy play. He likes to play so aggressive.
Well, Knight in a little bit of trouble here in this mid lane. Will be looking to go back home by the looks of things. I think was due a reset. Does have the Merc Treads as well, just to make sure that these stuns from the Annie are not going to be too much of an issue, as Tibbers does manage to bounce back to Vikla. Good bear care there that we do very much like to see. In the LCK, there's some notoriety for some of our players that aren't able to look after their maidens very well on Yorick. A very similar thing
They're on the PETA watch list.
Oh yeah, no, it really bothers me. But Vikla, they're able to keep Tibbers safe, at least for a moment.
I mean, Yorick's got to take care of the maiden.
I know,
that's his wife, right?
Exactly. Like it's like, come on, man.
Come on, man. Get it together.
Well, thankfully, Yorick not in this game, so no need to worry about that one for now, as we're looking to see whether this next dragon is going to be the port of call. You know, maybe it's going to be something else. But right now, the game has calmed down in a good way, because last time around, it was all action because BLG never stopped killing BNK players.
That's true.
And so if we do want a more even game, then we're going to look for a little bit more inaction. As now Raptor fighting against Knight here. So Mega Death Rocket actually going to connect the Aurora from downtown.
ミッドの手助けしたいね。
But not really going to be finding too much more.
お、すんごいフラッシュ。
Over the wall from Shun. And does eventually find that stun there. Between worlds they go, as now Vikla able to flash his way up, and my god, the damage from Knight already looking absolutely absurd. And with no flash to contend without a Vikla here either, I mean, Knight is going to be able to farm these plates in this mid lane.
Yeah, you got to be careful too, because when QE comes back up, he could flash and farm the champions as well. That is a risky recall.
Well, there is another fight here brewing towards his bottom side. Is now Viper in a lot of trouble. That is Kellen locking down that killer.
うまいな。
And finally, Diablo gets one at the same time. Kellen able to make his way out of 2 for 1 in the bottom lane. And these two were the best duo killers that we had in the LCK. And they are demonstrating it here on the world stage.
Yeah, that is really nice. Vikla still hasn't based. He is just bleeding out minions and tower plates here. Let's watch this one more time down on the bot side. We kind of only saw the very end of it. Oh, that is a super aggressive shift here from Viper. Gets caught by the tether there as Kellen flashed forward early. They focus him down. Then look at Diablo. He's kiting into the tower because he has to kite away from the stun from Shun to be able to finish off that kill. Beautiful kiting from him, recognizing how he was going to be able to win out in that spot. And he had his early Hex Optics C44, so you get that extended range, that bonus damage.
As well.
Exactly. You get that max damage now at only 500 range, so it's really easy to actually hit that and get that bonus damage, especially when you're in rocket form. As going to take a little bit of damage. Nice sidestep there.
Yep, not going to get bubbled, but is otherwise in a little bit of an issue here as far as the 2-1 is concerned. The rest of BNK are moving down, though, as we check in on this top lane. Clear just between turrets as on. Could be in a little bit of trouble. Was taken for a walk momentarily, but Kellen not going to be able to find too much more alone. And it looks like BNK, they just want to turn their sights towards the Dragons. And yes, we do. I mean, this one is exceptionally close. BNK right now with a slight lead. But as I say that, BLG ticks up to join them. So this is some League of Legends that we have here. It was the weird one in game 1, but now we have a real game on our hands.
I mean, Knight is still dominating mid lane. Vikla is in some trouble, but Diablo is up 1.3k. That is your Jinx, getting really fed early on. You've got 2 early Dragons. It is going to be Chemtech, which is a bit unfortunate, but they do have a number of shields, so it makes it a little bit more powerful, obviously, you know, with the Karma, with the Annie. And at the end of the day, a soul is still a soul. It is still a lot of extra power that they can work towards. And BLG are just trying to get online to where they feel comfortable fighting for this. So I love that BFX have really pushed the pace, took the early Dragon, got right back to it on spawn, because, you know, Ezra wants to get to a couple items. They want to get really rolling here before they show up and start team fighting. Whereas a lot of these champions over on BFX side, I feel like are good to go on one item. You know, like they are ready to scrap.
Yeah, especially like the Annie and the Renekton, for example. They are feeling very, very good at that moment. We also have first item completions for the junglers at the same time. And this is where Raptor really does start to take over on this Nefiri. I think Pyoshik, another one of our Nefiri players, but him and Raptor really were leading the charge as far as this champion was concerned. Often picked into Vi because you can just sort of ignore her ultimate most of the time. But we've got another fight brewing here as Knight just doesn't want any part of it, and he just gets away with the ulti.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit crazy, I feel like, to be a very good Nefiri player.
Yeah.
As, you really have to play on that knife's edge, and Vikla down 2 levels.
Yeah, Bin is going to turn up. There is the Grand Starfall as well from Shun, and Vikla, I think, is dead. As he's just going to get fully charged up on that Q, and down he will go. Pantheon grabs another one, and Vikla sitting at 0-3-0. This is not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the fact that it's the year of Vikla, but it's not looking like the year of Vikla here.
No.
It's the wrong hemisphere, perhaps. Something like that. I don't know.
Exactly. It's a time change thing. It hasn't
must
yet
be
ticked
that.
over to the year.
It's something like that. Clear though, not
何に行く
looking
の
like he's too
お
worried
ー
about it. It's
で
just gonna
ジンク
eat
する
the
と
fish. And down will go on. Bin is still
あ、で
alive
も
though,
これ
and
も
has
無理
that
だ
big
な。
old shield as he turns up, and I think they're gonna have to sacrifice more than just Raptor here, as Clear is likely to be going down, and Viper is able to help Knight get a double here on this top side of the map. You mentioned how scary his Aurora is. Well, his Aurora has all of the money.
Yeah, and likely going to go in towards a Shadow Flame second, I think even. He is going full burst here.
Oh,
Obviously,
God.
you need the Merc Treads because there's a lot of CC on the other side. Point and click with the Annie as well as the follow from the Renekton, so you need that. But this is going to be incredible burst.
オーラス座ってるのマジで良くないね。
On the Dark Seal as well, as they do look for this dive, and great, you killed off the
いや
Nami.
ナイトは
Who
ね
cares?
かなり強い
I mean,
ね
it's just the Nami, so we're going to full send it on Nami with Flash, with ult, with everything. Viper is hitting the whole time. Bin TP's in. Who's ever going to deal with Bin in this situation? And the carries are just so shifty, so it's very difficult. If you don't kill Viper and Knight off, it's got to be one of those at the start of the fight, or I just feel like you'll never win. Like,
No.
there's just no way.
Yeah.
On cannot be the prime target.
And here is
いいね MR ないのに兄だとマッチアップできねえ。
Here, Knight feeling very, very good about the amount of money that he's put together, close to a 3,000 gold lead, which is
The
kind
rich
of
get richer.
absurd.
It's a 1%er over there.
Oh, man. It's just how it
Vikla's
goes.
just a common man trying to get by, trying to pay his bills.
Yeah.
The Knight is like, I think I will buy a third Ferrari this game.
Yeah, I'd say that I think common man, but down on his luck.
He's down on his luck,
is,
yeah.
is Vikla here today. We've
Rent
seen-
just got raised.
He used to have money. Like
Yeah.
back in the LCK, he was putting wins together. Maybe not necessarily in the final of the LCK Cup, but before that, things were looking fantastic. And you know, sometimes it just comes and goes.
Yeah.
You know, ebbs and flows, as Nami would say. That's all right. We do have the 2v2 moving over towards this mid lane, as Diablo should be feeling pretty happy as far as the range is concerned, but if Viper is good at hitting these Mystic shots, which in this moment, not necessarily working out, BLG should be all right.
Yeah, I mean, the bot lane is the hope right now, as Kellen.
Yeah, Tidal Wave does come on through, gets the flash out from this Karma.
But again, it's getting, you just don't want to get back into that dangerous spot like last game where it's like, oh, Kai'Sa's on 3 items, great. Yeah, but if your AD carry is the only threat, all pressure will be thrown on that AD carry, and then it's very hard to fight, right?
Yeah.
You know, it becomes quite difficult, and you can see quite a lot of armor already has been purchased up here by Bin. I'm surprised that he actually went in for the Negatron, relatively early on. And he doesn't have tabby, so he's maybe not quite as tanky as he could be, but still, it's going to be very tough to crack. And Raptor just trying to zone them back, get more gold here for Diablo.
Yeah,
who
man,
really is their hope.
This turret could just be dead, as Diablo is just putting so many bullets in it. Finally,
無理やり行って死んだ。
and Diablo really wanted to kill that turret.
終わったけどだな。
As in comes the train, Bin to lock down. Raptor here goes untargetable for a few moments and tries to keep himself alive. True shot barrage, not enough, but the spear will do it. And BLG, yeah, that was a pretty good answer.
Yeah, I mean, Diablo, we talk a lot about the positives, right? About how good he is at playing on the knife edge. Sometimes he stabs himself with the knife, you know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that felt like a bit of an unforced one where, I mean, he's standing in the face of the Pantheon to knock down the turret. He did end up getting it, but he dies for it. Your mid lane turret dies for it. You are going to lose quite a bit. At the very least, they did get a tower back on top side as well, as Bin did move and cleared stayed top. BLG will get a dragon, though, so they're going to stomp that soul stacking. Raptor died. And it is nearly a 3K gold lead now here for BLG, fully in control once again. And you just look at mid jungle,
アニーとレネクトンマジいねえから。
getting into that territory where it's really just Diablo against the world.
It is. There's the flash forward here from Vikla, but Knight manages to get himself out of the way with a flash of his own, and underneath their turret they go. So looks like it is just going to be this Drake going down, as Kellen is once again getting a little bit frustrating. There's a crocodile following here, as on down to about 0 mana, but Shun is going to turn up as well as Knight teleports back in, and I don't think they really want to be fighting this Aurora unless she's going to miss some abilities. And it looks like now, yeah, B&K just going to leave.
Yep, and there is the Shadow Flame complete now, so Knight's burst going to ramp up a ton. I think Kellen was just hoping that they could actually stop the base from Knight, but they're going to go for a dive.
Yeah, they're going to look to try and take down this turret first as Knight.
オラオラオラオラオラオラナイス脅しきってすごい CC チェーンでラプターが CC チェーン食らったけどジンクスいいディールわあすんごいゴールド入った。いやジンクスマジでゴールド欲しいねこの試合は。アイとラストイスパーも欲しいし。
When you see Viper mid though for BNK, there's just no reason to ever stop, right? You're just gonna keep going. They got the early kill on
シュンのラスヒットレネクが取ったかな。そこだけまあちょっとあれだったけど。
But there's no DPS because Viper is not there and Knight is dead, so they can kind of just continue this push forever. Even though Knight and TP back, look at the tower and look how much crystal is stacked up, so they can kind of just burst down the tower. They go in onto Knight, they CC him up. Looks for a second like he might get out, but he does end up falling. The tower is knocked down in a hurry. Bin arrives, great, but there's no damage behind you, so he knows eventually he's going to go down. He tries to run away, but it's his flash, it's his TP. It's the TP and flash off of Knight. It's the flash off of Shun. It's a ton of kills for BFX, and it is the gold lead. Basically dead even at this point. It is really going to be all about Diablo versus Knight.
Well, we've got Raptor going in, looking for a kill onto On.
わあただこれ死んだくね。ああシャヤミカエルも完成してる。エリアでシールド量も多いしジンクスがキャリーの顔してる。いやこのジンクスすごいこのジンクスすごい。キャリーの顔してる。
Deserves that one after dying 3 times in a row in the early game. He's dead.
Oh,
I should never say it, man. I should never say it until he's safely back home.
That was messed up.
Yeah, the cast of curses, man.
Yeah, well, they do get one back, but still great plays from BFX. Vikla had a really nice peel onto Knight. As Knight went in with the Between Worlds, he throws down the ult onto Diablo. He's looking to try to burst him out, but he got insta-stunned by Vikla, so he couldn't actually follow up with the 2-fold hex, with the weirding. He got no follow-up damage whatsoever. And once Diablo is free, I mean, he just finishes LDR. I was talking about, oh, it could be problematic because he has to get to all these items. He's so accelerated. As we're going to watch this one more time. I'm not sure what's going on, so...
no, on is going out. That's what happened. This is the new version of the replay. I'm just hearing Ezreal's ult.
A lot of ults there from Viper, you know, really emphasizing that.
And the last one was the most important as well. As he
I'm kind of disappointed that it's over. I was enjoying that.
Yeah,
I feel like it could be like, you know, an EDM remix or something. You know? Get a little bass behind it.
Yeah.
Get it thumping.
Next time we'll try and spice it up for you.
Well, Diablo has his Hect Optics, he has his PD, he has his LDR.
この後 IE できたらだな。
Once he gets the IE, well, the clock kind of strikes 10, right? Like that is where it is really
まずいね。
Well, now he is in the front line. Does have to flash as Between Worlds he goes.
まずいねその死に方。この死に方めっちゃまずい。
Yeah, that was not where you wanted to back.
No.
And now the Baron is available. BLG, they could just go for it. I mean, Raptor is in the area. He might be able to go for a steal, but that is the best that he has. As far as his options, as Clear is moving over as well. They do get vision of the fact that this is happening. As Vikla trying to charge up that stun, he will have it available. As now Clear trying to get himself amongst it.
あ、これ50-50っぽいけど。
At any moment. And so they do have to have their fingers on the smite button, or at least Shun does. As there's a knock-up actually on to the Neferi as in he goes down to 1900, 1500.
ナイストライト。ナイストライトさせていただきます。
Tibbers not able to help him out there as they get the depth thumbs up and BLG straight back into the driver's seat.
Really well played there by BLG. Lazy recall from Diablo gets super punished because not only does he die and that costs you that fight, that costs you the Baron, he lost his flash too. So now they're not even going to have that for the next fight.
フラッシュなくしたのちょっと痛いね今の。ディアブル死んだのはまあギリまあドンマイって感じだけどフラッシュがちょっと。 ラッシュ切るんだったら早く切りたいし、遅く切ってあれは。
held that empowered Q the whole time. He was not going to waste that. He was not going to throw that over the wall.
一応ドラゴン3つ。
For the smite secure the entire time. They paused the health for a long time on that Baron. Then he's able to secure it very, very effectively. Gets that from Raptor, and now it is time to see how much gold they can gain with this. BFX definitely not out of it.
でも I までファームさえしてフラッシュ上がったら全然勝てるね。
No flash on him and flash on Knight, who is now very close to his death cap, is terrifying because you get hit by twofold hex plus weirding, you're basically dead. Or even if you're not, you are completely out of the fight. So that's all what it is about. And without the flash, it's really hard to be able to actually react to that and dodge that.
Yeah, Diablo is basically going to be playing defense for the next few minutes. As this Rift Scuttler is going to be taken. Raptor a little bit in a rough spot. As now we've got Knight going between worlds, but he's in a rough position himself. As Bin makes his way forward. There is the tidal wave. As Raptor is out of there. My goodness, the damage is ridiculous. But
うまいな。わお、うまいな。いいね、いいね、いいね、いいね、いいね、いいね、いいね。BFX、戦い方いいな。戦い方めっちゃいい。わあ。GG だ。エンド。うわ、うまい。マジでうまい。待って、この AD マジでうまい。わあ。わあ。これ眠かったんだけど、起きたわ。この AD うまいわ。
As BNK, they came to play. Those sillies well and truly shaken out, and the Nexus is also going to be taken down here as well. Wasn't the greatest out of Vikler in the early game, but it is Diablo finishing it off, and BNK able to make their mark.
いやー、ちょっとうまいな。俺レネクトンのビルドすごい気になってたんだけど、ブラックリバーに行かないから。でも戦い方がマジで良かった。まあなんか AD でキャリーするのことに慣れてそうっていうのはあるね。AD がキャリーするのはもちろんなんだけど、AD がキャリーする環境を作ることに慣れてるね。ミッド主導権どうにかしてビクラに渡したいけど、主導権取れなさそうだな。まあメル悪くなさそうだな。構成は
I'd be very frightened for BNK's chances.
And this is a big change.
いや難しいな。右のが
May start his dying a little bit early this time around. Wants to get it out of the way, and there is another first blood for Knight.
Not again.
No, you just got to get it off the table. You know, get it out of the way. He's sorted it out. He's figured it out. Unfortunately, the minions arrive really early now.
Yeah, get that TV off the table as well.
Yeah, get the TV
you can't TP into.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you can't TP into 3 players later and give up first blood because A, he won't have TP, and B, he already gave first blood.
Nailed it. See, that's the best way to deal. I knew you understood. I knew it.
Yeah, well, Viper, to talk a little bit about him, obviously this was the big change for BLG this year. You know, Shun came back, but also Viper came in, and this was a team that had Elk for so long. It's early exhaust.
うま今の。避けたけど、ディアブル。
Elk had been with this squad for so long, synonymous with BLG. They bring in Viper. This is a player that has been so reliable.
よく避けようと思うな、このレベルのタイミングで。
Over the years has been so effective and really is considered one of the greatest AD carries of all time. I will say I don't think he's had a great series thus far.
No, not quite.
And has definitely been Diablo getting the better of him, especially in that last game, but game 1 as well. They didn't really create, you know, much of an advantage. He wasn't really a big part of it. So now that they do have the answer, they are able to see the full enemy bot lane, go for their counter picks. We'll see how effective they are going to be.
And see whether Vikler can get it together here as well, as we do see him in the mid lane, and he is going to be all right. This time around, it was a little bit more of like there were too many bad guys in the area.
But he chose to walk into the bad guys' territory. He did walk down the dark alley.
He did, and so that's not necessarily.
Get away from there, you know? Stay by the street lights.
Man, there are some scary things happening all over the map. As Viper going down relatively low, but On doing his best to soak as much of the harass as he can. Clear just behind the enemy turret, clearing things out, and we'll be looking to pick up the next one as well. This is what we see a lot, is you farm in between inner and then top side, and the outer, and then you head over to this one, down, and then you go for a free reset. It's working.
Best way to lane against the Rumble? Don't lane against the Rumble.
Beautiful.
I love it. And Clear
how are you supposed to first strike him? Oh, he didn't even take first strike. There's the checkmate.
There you go.
From Ben.
Yeah, that's how you're not supposed to first strike.
Yeah, just doesn't even do it. We call it the money printer because Rumble just tends to make so much first strike money. It is kind of insane. So they can be even on CS, but there's like an 800 gold lead. It's so dumb.
Yeah, that is
Keen really made it look very broken.
And it scales quite well because percentage increase of damage, right? So later on in the game, it's not just the money rune; it's actually they're killing you as well.
Yeah. So you get more for your money.
Yep. Well, I guess that's more money rune, you know, because getting kills. There you go. Diablo and Kellen with the push thus far, which is kind of at least to my expectation. And we'll see, you know, if they are going to be able to find this wraparound, though.
Oh, yeah, Shun making his way in. Viper looking a little worse for wear. There's the flash forward. They want to just try and kill him. Before this one even happens, the flash out of the way is
not able
to be taken.
Diablo-san, ちょっとあなた。
It is going to be a 1-for-1. But Diablo, I think, pretty happy with picking up the first one here for BNK.
No kidding. I mean, Viper has, I'm just going to say he's played horribly in these first two games, and now in the third as well. It feels like some pretty big mistakes. I mean, you think back to...
うまいね。死んだじゃん、それ。
Yeah, he's a Yumi. He doesn't...
He's barrier.
Ah, おったく見せた。
Canceled the auto attack, so that's not great. So he's dead.
あー、ビジョン消えたね。
He does stay alive.
Outplayed Azale.
He has been outplayed. But I think back to the earlier 2v3 that they had, where it's Viper going too early, and I feel like the same thing happened here. You have Shun behind them. You don't need to go early and even risk anything. Wait till the Wukong is there, then go forward and make him commit to that. And I feel like it's the same thing that we saw from Viper last time around in that Jinx game, where he goes too early. You know, he shifted in. That time he was playing the Ezreal. He had Pantheon coming in behind. He shifts in early, ends up dying, gives over 2 kills, even though they did eventually kill the Jinx. And this time it's kind of the same thing again. So even with that counter pick, getting 2v2 killed, not what you want to see. I mean, look where Shun is. This is what is important about it to me. You do not have to overforce like this. Your Wukong is directly behind them. They have no clear way out. Yeah, you need to bait a little bit, but like, let's be honest, he could have played it so much slower.
Yeah, I do think that BNK were good to start the aggression as aggressively as they possibly could at that moment. But like you say, just hold on a little bit as, a bit of a laugh from On, because that was a pretty unfortunate cancel.
Yeah, it is. And Diablo, it did look like an auto cancel. I think maybe lost vision too, I'm not sure. But either way, I thought he would have had the Yumi there for sure. Ends up going down, but now Raptor is the one behind them. Raptor has just been power farming. Shun is the beneficiary of all that madness on that bot side. You know, still obviously a good play for BLG, even though Viper did die when I didn't think he had to.
いや、ジャングルのファーム数やばいな。5キャンプか。
So now Raptor is the first to 6.
ボットガンクの大小でかすぎる。
And now he's going to go topside for the scuttle, and we'll see if he can find anything with that first Nocturne ult, which is so important because it is a ridiculously long cooldown early on in the game.
Yeah, needs to try and get towards some of these Ultimate Hunter stacks, which is, I assume, where he's gone. Yes, indeed. So Clear and Bin fighting it out here towards his top side as well. Haven't really poked our noses in to have a look, but right now Clear is in a pretty good spot. Does have the wave shoving on forward, so I think that Bin should be able to even things out. But still, this is going better for the Cassante than how I was expecting, because Rumble has been such a good laner in general.
And Bin has been doing very well also. You know, even when you think back to last game, obviously, you know, was not nearly as explosive as game 1, but he was just going kind of dead even with Clear on the Renekton, even though he was on the Sion, usually considered to be the early game losing part of that matchup.
There's the charm. Just bonked back there. And we were talking about this before, like, where's the value of the Mel? Well, it's only really the charm, but that's also like their only ranged.
見てゼリー6からだから、6にはなった。
And some harpoons. But like, as far as hard CC, the charm is what they're going to be fishing with.
Yeah.
And so I think that the value for the Mel could actually work.
It could. I mean, the question is, you know, will you be knocked up by the Cyclone when you're getting charmed? You know, will you be able to have that interaction happening?
Yeah.
Can you time the Reflect well amongst, you know, all that chaos? If you can, it is going to be really, really nice, right? You know, without the charm, Ahri just generally doesn't have kill threat, so you're looking to just kind of constantly harass, and when you go forward, not only does Knight have to worry about it being, you know, reflected and losing that damage and CC himself, it can hit you. And then if it hits you, you are charmed into a root, into a full Mel combo, which can be 100-0 once you get later on into the game, especially with the assistance of a reflected charm. So Knight definitely going to have to play carefully around that. But his Ahri has been stellar. I mentioned it early, but you know, he has some of the most impressive stats you will ever see on this champion. Most played in his career, 77.6% win rate, and killer stats. To me, I always think of him as still the Syndra guy because I think about the early days when he was just so insane on that, but he had a ridiculous run where he had not lost on Ari for such a long time.
Yeah.
It became, you know, to him what LeBlanc was to Faker, I think, for a long time.
Well, let's see whether he can make it happen as we're going all out here towards the top side of the map. Clear, looking for an angle, doesn't find the Q. So Bin is just going to be able to time this one out. Still, I think this Cassante has worked as far as the answer to the Rumble, really neutralizing it so far. As Clear shoves another wave in, and BLG looking to start off this Dragon. That level 6 that we were talking about has been now picked up by Viper and On, but they haven't found an all-in angle just yet. As the Equalizer comes down just to clear out this wave, grab some tempo back, and that will happen here for Bin.
Yeah.
The extender beam comes down into this bottom lane.
Raptor's going to cancel his base. They're going to try to make this go really long. He is there behind him.
Yeah, there's a Paranoia. Flash comes on forward here as there is no ulti from Clear, so
Oh,
it couldn't get himself on the wall. So that's a 1-for-1. That's a big one for Bin.
Yeah, that is honestly really good for Bin at the end of the day. It's a trade of flashes. You get a 1-for-1. Your team gets to do Dragon on the bot side. I'm kind of surprised they forced it that hard.
Oh, there's the all-in here on this bottom side as well for BLG. It's Diablo in a lot of trouble, has to flash.
やっぱ全員の2対2、2対2ってか6
There's
の
no kill, but it is still a lot of pressure
ブ
put
が
on
ちょっ
here
と
by
強いな。
BLG.
ケリンの6 欲しい
That is
ね。
that level 6 advantage for On. He has the ult where Kellen does not. So even once they get the cleanse off Viper, there's no encore to come through. That meant that Diablo had to flash away. So a good bit of pressure there from BLG, but yeah, I mean, once the wave got equalized on the top side, I'm surprised they tried to force that with no minions. I thought they were just going to kind of harass him, delay the base, and said, Raptor really wants to force this. I thought they might have gone for a really long wave, but instead, Clear goes in, tanks this up. Nice flash over by Bin, overheats, gets that damage down on Clear, who, as you said, he knew had no all-out because they had traded that back and forth early. So just need to get a little bit of damage down on him, locks him into a tower long enough they can get the kill.
Was a little bit unfortunate, but still able to get that kill back. You can see about a 900 gold lead at the moment for BLG. Looking a lot more like Game 2 rather than Game 1, though. So I think we will see a relatively even mid-game. Just have to see whether BLG can get themselves across the line after that. Because, of course, they're finding a lot of great advantages in that game as well. I think this time around, going to be a little bit more on the ball, as there is a little cat on a book that's kind of away from her friends, which is not necessarily what you want to see, but they're not going to be able to take down On this time around, and he's
誰がゼリーを認めるんだろうな。まあ多分カサンテがやるんだろうけど。
Yeah, and Kellen just now hitting 6, so I think that's why he probably wasn't super worried. You knew the Ash Arrow had been used in that last fight. You knew that there was no level 6 on the Seraphine. Now you do have both those tools coming up here, so this is where Viper will have to be careful because you have no cleanse available. If all the CC hits, it can be very devastating. And I think that's going to be something that's problematic in general for BLG, even for people like Bin, who, you know, you're going early tabbies because it is Nocturne Cassante on the top side, but then that means you have no tenacity here against all of this CC that is going to be coming through. The Mel Snare, the Encore, the Roof from Seraphine, the Crystal Arrow, there's the Fear, there's so many tools that BFX have. If you get caught in that CC, the chain can be kind of never ending.
Yeah. Well, let's just see whether they can actually deal with this one. I think in isolated little skirmishes, though, BLG are so powerful with the composition that they have. Ari and Wukong very, very good at just locking down a target and having enough damage to kill them. And then in the late game, it's just going to be the Viper show. He has to dodge basically everything, but if he does manage to do so, utilizes that cleanse very well, and there's a Mikhail's on this cat, then this Zeri could really take over the game. So certainly some win conditions here, but it will be tough going for the AD carry. And like you were saying, he hasn't had the greatest series so far. Why not just allow him to hard carry this one in a scenario where he absolutely has to if BLG are going to get over the top as far as later on in the series is concerned, in the game is concerned.
Yep, has that shiv completed. Obviously, he's in a totally fine position, you know, in this game. He's doing pretty well, just didn't need to give over that kill, I don't think, earlier to Diablo, who has been stellar, and that's the scary thing, right, is you don't want to give a kill to Diablo, accelerate him when he's been having, you know, such an impressive year, and even a really impressive series, coming off of a pentakill, a game-winning pentakill, and is going to be set up for success here. You have to think in this game, though there are a lot of threats, so Ashe is not going to be easy to play, especially if you don't have Flash. it's going to be almost impossible for Diablo. It feels like it's going to be really down to his team peeling for him, because without Flash, Equalizer's going to get dropped on your head. There's going to be Shun coming in with the Cyclone. There's going to be all of these things thrown at you, and that is going to be almost impossible to dodge on the Ashe. But if they're the ones who are starting off the fights, I think equally so it can get very
アッ
chaotic
シュ
on
の
the
コア
other
がで
side.
きてないか
I think
ら
if they're coordinated, even if they're engaged on, right? Like Paranoia can be such a good defensive tool as well as an engaged tool, right? Turning off the lights can really make things frustrating. And so if B&K are going to be able to get those team fights working, as they said themselves that they absolutely love it. They wanted to show the world how good they are in these sort of fight scenarios. So let's see whether they can put their money where their mouth is here in this game number 3.
Look at all the vision BLG are putting on that bot side in the jungle, trying to track where Raptor would have to ult Viper from, right? So they're saying, okay, we got to keep Viper safe. All of these wards through the entire bot side, wards in the river, 3 in the enemy jungle, a pink there down on that bot side as well.
Wow.
Arrow connects from downtown. Paranoia comes through once again. It's clear. He can't take the turret for much longer than that, but he doesn't need to, as Raptor will take the last one, and down goes the Rumble. This time, the dive worked.
Diablo setting it up from downtown.
He was actually in the bottom lane. That was insanity.
Yeah, actually look behind me. I heard him yell out Kobe on the stage, and the rest is history.
Yeah, there we go. Beautifully done. That is going to be the first turret taken down as well. So B&K a lot more money, but now BLG to try and fight back. There's the Cyclone onto Diablo. He flashes out of the way. A great encore here from Kellen defensively as the final chapter comes down. I don't know about that timing.
これはどうなんだ？
As Viper throws in his ulti as
こ
well.
れどうなんだよ
Now Clear
ね
comes in
そうだよ
with a
ね
huge shield, but Knight's down as well. The charm is going to miss though, and Diablo is doing his very best to get out of the way of every ability thrown at him, and nothing's going to stick.
Nicely done there by Diablo. Important sidesteps, but now Vicla's moving down here on the Mel. They want to continue the fight because Raptor and Clear are very healthy.
Yeah, there are so many buttons now on cooldown as well on either side. But Clear also wants to get some value out of this teleport that he just used to get towards his bottom side. Could be a dragon being taken as a Hex Tech is now up and available. Would be able to even out the dragons here, and it looks like B&K are going to settle for that.
Yep, and he had a lot of time because he had that wave push so deep, right? They had taken the top lane tier 1, so they got first tower. He had pushed it all the way to the tier 2. He's going to be losing plates now. It is Vicla looking like he's going to go up and answer that. So there is a cost to this. Bin is going to get some money, but still, you get down towards the bot side, you get that dragon, that's going to feel nice.
Well, you got an exhaust down onto Raptor, who flashes out of the way. Over the wall goes Viper, though, and oh dear, the shutdown comes in. It's not a kill for the Zeri. That is probably good news if you're a B&K fan.
Yeah.
But you're getting pretty close to some certification because Viper is looking terrifying.
He is, and well played, honestly. They're just very patient with the dash. They chase him down, utilizing the exhaust to just hold them kind of in place.
Yeah.
Force out that early flash, and then just slides right over the wall, gets an easy kill. Definitely should not have taken that kill. Of course, Wukong with money is still great, but you want that shutdown on your Zeri, let's be honest.
Yeah, Zeri's probably one of the AD carries that wants it the most out of everyone.
Greedy.
Can really take over the game. Greedy, but for a good reason, you know? Let's see whether Viper is going to be able to get a kill for himself. Does now have about a 12 CS advantage as well. And so that is not what you want.
めちゃめちゃ CS 取ってない
Ash lane, you probably want to be ahead. And they are certainly not. The top side of the map, though, is where B&K do have a bit of an advantage. And only 700 gold doesn't really mean too much here when we know they have such a wombo combo here on this B&K side. Same is to be said for BLG, though. They can find themselves some pretty devastating team fights if they're fighting on their terms. And I think, like, we talk about this, but I think it's going to be who has the fights on their terms that is going to be able to win. So tempo going to be such a huge thing in this game. As Vicla, I don't know about that position as he flashes to get himself out of the way. There's a Paranoia as they just turn it onto Raptor. Does have that shield.
Wow.
Oh dear, okay, that is a lot of damage as they go 1 for 1. Now the flash on in as Viper looking for it onto Diablo.
わあうまいねうまいねそれいけるうまいね
On the bottom side of the map as well, picture in picture, but you've got to see this monkey making his way out of the pit. Shun is going to survive, and it looks like Clear is okay as well there towards that bottom lane.
Viper just flashed on Diablo, and Diablo's like, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. He just takes him down, and Egg on Viper's face once again. The woes continuing a bit for the BLG bot laner. Shun still at the end of the day, he gets the Herald. He's getting really, really strong, but Viper just looking a bit out of sorts as Diablo just popped that barrier. They're going to try to run down
Maybe if you've got a name
Vikla.
that starts with V, it's just a bit of a rough day. As we can see, Vikla down the red carpet and will just be dead. On is going to steal that kill away. We're all about not giving kills over to the right people in certain circumstances. That's sort of how it's been going here. As BNK looking to try and answer here in this mid lane. It's a decent cross map, as the extender beam not going to be enough to take down these minions, so it should be BNK able to open up the map here with this mid lane outer turret.
Yep, that is great. Going to be able to knock down another tower. The gold very, very close. BLG just ever so slightly in the lead here. But BFX fighting well. Viper now does have that second item here, as is going to have that really powerful initial burst of damage. You pop the ulti, you get all the crits, and then you're going in with on, having exhaust, having ultimate, and you're trying to really put out that pressure very, very quickly. Push Diablo out of the fight, push Vikla out of the fight. And Vikla, his positioning has not been perfect by any means. They're going to look for a dive.
Yeah, he may just be dead as the riposte does come on through, but it's not going to do anything at all. However,
すごいセラフィン
he has the ulti down. That is so many stacks, and that's a flash needed from Knight to get himself out of the fight. And Shun's going to be taken out. The revenge of Vikla has happened. And now Knight is going to have to try and get himself out of the enemy jungle.
Might be time to check your clocks because it's looking like it's
Ah,
the year of
should
Vikla.
I'm looking at my calendar. We had a little bit of a moment at the beginning of the day, but it was just the wrong timing.
Wow.
Knight will be taken out. Raptor is able to finish that one off.
Yeah, Vikla used the reflect so early. I thought he was going to get killed for sure, but then Knight missed the charm. I think Knight felt that Vikla was going to continue moving.
Arrow
But
当たったかも
Vikla
ね
actually, watch, he stops moving here, uses the reflect really early.
アロー
and
飛
then he
んでる
stops
けど
moving
あ当たっては
past the
当たってるわやっぱなんかアッシ
And
ュ
Knight throws the charm down below him. That was a stationary
足だね
charm.
ああいう
I
動
think
きけてない
Knight
ね
is going to continue moving
Yeah.
and was kind of throwing it preemptively where he thought he would go. If that charm lands, Vikla's dead for sure. Unfortunately, Knight does not hit the charm. Vikla survives, gets a kill there. And BLG now, just like that, they were up 500. They are now down 1.2K. And creating a very nice little edge here for themselves.
And look at the junglers as well. And now Coinbase Gold Grind Raptor versus Shun. It is a decent lead for the Nocturne. And the junglers have been really the main characters of this particular game. And you're looking at a 4-1-2 Wukong. And he's behind.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Raptor has been farming very effectively. Look at the CS difference, right?
Yeah.
It's almost 30 CS. That is where a lot of that is coming from.
Arrow connects onto the Wukong, who was in the
surprise monkey.
Yeah, surprise monkey. Just going to take some arrows. But BNK not going to get too much joy from that ulti being thrown
いや
out.
かなり勝ってるね主導権があるから
Shoot those arrows, so no one just hit a random monkey in the jungle.
Exactly. And
Brother's in his home.
they are in the jungle, so
Yeah.
there are monkeys. You do have to be careful.
BLG 主導権がない
All right, so Mountain Drake, it's going to be a Mountain Soul this game, and I think that if BNK managed to get a Mountain Soul, it might just be game over, because I don't know whether anyone can kill clear.
Yeah, I think that will be really, really difficult. So much of the top side of BLG is all about the initial punch, obviously. With the Cyclone, with the Spirit Rush, with the Equalizer, being able to burst someone down during that moment. And Mountain Soul makes that really, really tough. Bin going to be trailing Knight here. They were going to see if Clear would overextend, but he does not. And even if he did, he is very resistant
Yeah, it's
to
going to
magic
take about
damage.
12 years to die. We can see already things are a little bit rough, right? Because Ari not exactly a tank buster, as now we've got an Encore coming on forward. Charm comes on down, but it looks like we are going to see the monkey make his way out, and a successful escape there from Shun.
Runs for the hills. We'll be able to get out of there, and that is really nice.
いう意味で視界が取りきれないというよりかは
both the Paranoia as well as the Golden
どこ
Eclipse
も
as well as the
プッシュで勝ってるレーンがないから
really good deal
でいう意味
there
で
for
中盤から勝とうとしてたけど
We will see this next fight.
ディアブルが
I think is
うまくやり
gonna be
すぎて
pretty fun one. I do think
アッシュが主導権取ってるのがだいぶでかい
this next dragon. I think that's where we're really looking for action once again. If they can't just find some sort of a pick. That is where we are going to have to see if they are ready to scrap, because I don't think you want to allow BFX to just get towards Soul Point for free.
Nope. And there's also 2 items on the Seraphine as well. This is where she really starts to become pretty obnoxious in this game, as Vikla does tank a Prowling Projectile, but Shun not too keen on making any more engage happen. As the Rich Herald may just die again. Never mind, does manage to get a charge, but there's the final chapter. Not exactly doing too much of anything at all. Clear making his way in with the teleport. Let's see whether this wraparound is going to work as he finds a great flank angle, pushes the Wukong out of the way as the Q doesn't land from Vikla, but Knight is kind of out of this fight, and Clear is just kind of by himself and not taking damage.
Yeah, not taking damage, but not really doing any either. BLG do get pushed back, but it was the TP off Clear for really not much of anything.
Well, not yet anyway, as they're continuing to fight here. There's the all-out as Shun getting pulled back. The equalizer is fantastic as Raptor is just going to get taken down. The volley is hurting a little bit here, but it's BLG that draw first blood in the fight as Vikla gets in. The overwhelm to take down this Rumble as they get vision of Shun slowed down by the volley. Prowling projectile onto Diablo as the extender beam. Now I don't think they want to be diving as Zeri. That's the time where she kills all of you and you lose the game.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that. It felt like a bit of an overforce from Clear. He TP'd in and he just seems so hungry to try to find something. Then it looked like they actually had finally found something as Shun was staying around. I mean, Shun is just messing with Raptor there, trying to knock that down, has to retreat back, but he used the clone to try to get away. The equalizer here, though, was so problematic for BFX because Diablo can't even walk into the fight. He's got to walk back the entire way around. And Diablo, though, as we're back to live, looking for 1v2.
Diablo, what are we doing? That was crazy, but he did almost manage to get a kill. So maybe we say that it could have been worth, and sometimes things don't work out.
Did not work out that time. He does lose his flash and does die, which is going to be really big for the next fight. At the very least, though, they got the flash off of Shun, so they did get some tools out there, as well as it looks like both the summoners from on at the same time. It was very close to getting a kill in what seemed to be a 1v3 as we
very
jumped into
interested
that.
as to how that one started. As I imagine, Diablo probably found himself a lone monkey, and then the monkey's friends turned up.
It's never a fair fight.
Yep, doesn't quite work out there. As it's a lot of animals on the BLG composition. Have you noticed?
True.
Kind of crazy.
It is.
Just
Shun is very low. Rumble. It makes more sense how he almost died now, I feel like, as the early flash, Diablo kites out the Cyclone, turns around with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but, I mean, Viper is there. I feel like he could have just walked out of that one.
I think he could have just decided not to die.
This is very much a Diablo play, as you see the reaction.
Yeah, Rather is just like, oh, not again.
Diablo is one of these guys who hits the sickest outplay you've ever seen, and then is like, ha, you can do nothing to me, and then just walks in and kills himself immediately.
Exactly. Well, they are now just going to walk over to Baron. Let's see whether this is going to work, because right now, BLG seem to have absolutely no idea that this is happening. And in fact, Knight might check it, but this is gone.
It is gone. But we'll see the fight after, because now they know, and BLG are coming, but Bin has his TP. They're going to go.
Yep. Extender Beam does come on down. As we do have a snare that is going to hold them in position. Final chapter does come on forward. But he gets stunned up. Just destroyed by Vikla.
消滅した。あ、でもディアブル死んだこれ。さすがに。すんごいシールド。わあ、すんごいシールド。いや、かかった。死んだ。いや、気づくのが遅れた上に集団戦の形ノクターンのウルトで作れなかったな。
But watch Viper again. Viper in this fight here. He tries to go right into the face of Vikla, goes straight in, and he just gets burst. He just dies. No flash. He cleanses the root, doesn't use his flash at all. He's playing these fights way too fast, way too aggressive. Let the people get in front of you and then hit them. You have so many members around you to support you in that spot, but he's just charging in and dying off. Viper gets destroyed by Diablo and Vikla as he just charges into their face. And Vikla now, it's Magi's time. He built the Magi's against the Magi's guy.
Oh, that's my boy.
That is confidence.
See, you know what? It's exactly what we were talking about. He got it out of the way early this time.
Yeah.
You know, just do it before the laning phases even happened. It's now clear. We were talking about his immortality. We do have a dragon up and available for B&K. That'd be Soul Point, and Double Mountain is already just so many stats to try and get through on this Cassante.
You know, next game, maybe he could ask Knight for a quick 1v1, get solo killed before the game starts.
That's an in-practice tool.
In-practice tool, exactly. That would be crazy.
That'd be the tactic. We'll have to let Vikla know. As Shun looking for a little bit of a wraparound, should be able to get into position as the equalizer is good from Bin. At the same time, the encore is also fantastic. It's another kill as Vikla goes godlike. They get into the backline. The Mel is taken out as it's a double for Zeri and make
あれでもアッシュは全然生きてる。
It doesn't matter how many mistakes you make, as long as you find your window to get that certification, it can work. Because he does need to be a little bit careful here, as the bottom lane are still alive. Bien needs to find some of these helpers. Look, Diablo just wants to walk up.
ドリブルの顔してる。
His sidesteps have been so good. Sidestep a couple skill shots in a row there, but BLG retreating away into this tower are going to be able to knock that down. It was a great reflect from this one from Vikla. He got a reflect on the charm onto Knight. Knight got charmed up, got burst down early on. So even with that equalizer that looked pretty much perfect from Bin.
ただこれだいぶだな。
Yeah, equalizer does come down. It's not doing a whole lot. As his inner turret is also
ボディブロックしたケリン偉い。そうだね。ああまあまあまあまあ BLG もうまくやった。あおナイトおああさすがにね。
League of Legends I'd seen in a really long time. Now as Vikla continues the fight, there is a Foxy Lady for On to join with, and now back on over to Viper. His final chapter's up again. And now Shun looking for a little bit of an angle. 7 seconds on that Cyclone as you've got Raptor coming in. Does make them a little bit afraid as Viper gets himself back into position. And Raptor is the target they're looking for. He dashes over the Cyclone.
いやビクラええやん。メルいいね。いいパフォーマンス。
One of the longest team fights I have ever casted in my life as they've respawned and they're back into it once again. This time it's clear, going all out against BLG. And Azale, who won?
I would say BFX because Kellen is back. Diablo is respawning. It's their dragon.
I guess
and that was crazy. We saw a fight. I want to say start and end with an equalizer, but the fight kept going after the second equalizer, and the fight now is ending with the third equalizer.
We need to change the name of Final Chapter, by the way, because there were two, and obviously was wrong.
It's been renamed in the patch notes to add a page.
Aha! There we go.
Yeah, and here it is one more time. They just decided to go back in onto Viper. Viper walking forward, gets tagged by everything from Vikla, gets burst down, even with Shun killing off Vikla afterwards. Clear is here, Raptor is here. They don't have the damage to get through them. Raptor knows it, flashes forward, and they're able to get even more. And now with the bot lane respawning, we assume that in live, they were able to get more there.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about being able to live. He's been able to
ただ
live.
ゼリーめっちゃ座ってるぞこれ。3K ゴールド勝ってるからな。
Like assists and kills versus deaths. That is pretty ridiculous. 14 KDA, not bad. But let's see with the BLG.
フレンズもあるし、
Almost a gold lead.
ユミ乗ってるし、ミカエルあるし、だいぶキャリーポテンシャルある。メルおもちゃウーコンから逃げるのに役に立つのかな。まあでもこのアイテム強いんだよな。俺も誰が積んでも強いと思ってたけど実際強いのかもしれん。
He's got it, and Infinity Edge done for both the Diablo and Viper. Damage really has ramped up. Viper has not really looked very impactful in this game, but he is 3K up.
He does have the capacity to win for BLG.
Exactly. Like
in any scenario.
You have one good fight where Viper is not just getting randomly one-shot, and you have people in front of him, and he could end the game.
Oh? There's a paranoia. I'm not entirely sure why.
ミッドに移ると思った。
They didn't realize how many members were there, and then as he popped it, they got vision of more of BLG coming in. I think he was saying, "Oh, there's only one or two here."
ミッドプッシュしてミッドに移ると思ったっぽいけどな今の。ミッドに移んなかったからやめたな。
It's rank 3. It's pretty late in the game, and you can see it's already, about a third of the way off cooldown, so it should be up and available. I don't think BLG are going to be forcing a Baron in their face or anything like that. So you really are just waiting for this next fight here at the Dragon for that potential soul.
Yeah. Going to be pretty high value as well. Mountain Soul, as we mentioned, could be pretty powerful. Any soul is generally very good, but if you're the one team with a tank, you'll be feeling pretty fantastic to buff clear up, make sure that he is an immovable object in that front line. He's also so important against Zeri. Cassante is brilliant into Zeri. She loves coming over walls. And then he says, no, back you go. And then if that's on cooldown, she's not going to be able to enter the fight, and then you kill everyone else. That is kind of the theory.
You can see Viper now on 5 completed items plus the boots. as he just finished up another one. So is that full item ahead of Diablo, who will still have a lot of threat, and Kellen does have his Mikhails. So it's the Reflect you have to deal with for the Charm. There's also the Mikhails now. It is going to be very difficult for Knight, and he has been struggling in this game.
すんごいことするなバイパー。バイパーすごいことするな。まあそうだね。ラプターも一旦受けるだけだね。でもまたビンが良くない死に方した。あーこれはビクラナイストライ。あただバイパーわあディアブルわあいやバイパーワンチャンありそうだったけどな今の足んないんだな。いやちょっと待った BFX 強いな。
Team fighting here from B&K. They'll take down this mid inhibitor once again. And one more time, it is just a waltz through the mid lane in order to take down the Nexus. B&K reaching match point in their first best of 5 of FirstStand2026.
What a way to...